Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Alvyn Kurniadwi putra, and my student identity number is 22240900059. And I want to talking about virtual office. What is a virtual office? Virtual office gives agencies a physical cope with an workplace related offerings without the overhead of an extended higher and administrative workforce. With a virtual workplace, employees can work from anywhere, however, still have such things as a mailing cope with smartphone answering service, assembly rooms, and video conferencing. Second, how virtual office work. Virtual places of work perform as one unit to serve customers, however, do now not exist in a set region. This sort of setup is specifically popular with startups and small businesses that need to reduce overhead. The introduction of net-based workplace productiveness software and services, which include video conferencing, has helped power the growth in virtual office. Key takeaways. A virtual workplace is an enterprise that operates as one unit and has bodily mailing cope with, however, does no longer exist in one specific region. Improvement of equipment along with video conferencing and messaging offerings has caused the extended utilization of the virtual workplace. The costs of working a digital office are a great deal much less than the traditional workplace, and that is why this kind of setup is famous amongst small businesses and startups. A digital workplace arrangement expands process alternatives for personnel and hiring alternatives for companies, whilst the virtual workplace is normally a less highly priced alternative for businesses. For business, a few service like telephone answering the video conferencing may have restrained accessibility. Virtual office can also cause more productivity as it's offering loose workers from administrative obligations as well as commute. Each employees can work from the area that is maximum handy, and the commercial enterprise isn't restricted to hiring personnel who live regionally, as greater humans locate ways to paintings remotely. The benefits of a virtual office are at once major. However, not everything is as smooth because it seems. A few may find scheduling a virtual workplace space no different than the time eating scheduling conflicts inherent in a bodily workplace. Advantages and disadvantages of virtual office. The appeal of virtual office to user is twofold. First, monthly costs for using a virtual office are far less than for using a traditional office. After all, a virtual office doesn't need to be maintained or staffed, and there are no costs associated with leasing or renting one. Second, a virtual office can provide a mailing address, telephone answering, and video conferencing services. This means that a small business can appear larger than it is and that clients can meet with the business in person. However, some services that a virtual office arrangement offers require pre-planning to use, and there is the potential for distractions that come with working from home. What does a virtual office provide? Those virtual workplace permit companies to have the following: business postal address. This helps agencies seem a little greater prestigious than they might in any other case be if they use their real address. Number one, my mom's basement, nevertheless living at Homesville's. A receptionist. This facilitates if you are arranging meetings in and around your digital office. meetings and around your digital office, as it makes that virtual workplace appear a little much less digital for your clients and enterprise colleagues. Envelope establishing and scanning carrier. If you're getting mail dispatch to and cope with which you aren't, this is excellent. This is an excellent service in which you may get all of the post scan and emailed over to you, so that you can stay on pinnacle of your admin assembly rooms. You might not have access to full timetable, but you could set set up meetings in those places too. Telephone answering and voicemail services. This simply surely allows you manipulate your incoming calls in a way that you don't mouse over out your private mobile. As an alternative, use the real landline. Variety then makes you appearance a little more pro. These are just a number of the offerings offered by virtual workplace vendors, but make sure you take a look at beforehand. Some will possibly provide much less, and some of the premium services might truly provide more. Where did the idea for virtual office space come from? A state above the idea got here from the executive suite and has advanced because of the ability of our agencies to characteristic remotely the usage of ever advancing technology for conversation. The fun of Skype, Google Hangouts, and plenty of different platforms has empowered commercial enterprise proprietors to reduce the cost of renting office space. This adaptability has afforded young agencies the potential to build teams out of doors of better profile location, reduced fees, and but nonetheless appearance prestigious. For large corporations, prestigious postal deal with is irrelevant. However, for plenty, it makes a real distinction. If you are an excessive stop attorney, you will need to make certain that your postal address in significant London. In any other case, your clients might suppose your abilities are lacking as tons as your real commercial enterprise cope with. This is not splendid for commercial enterprise. Can I hire the best talent to work in my more remote office location? No, let's be clear. The use of a virtual office 100%, and so you should be sure to evaluate the pros and cons specific to you and your needs as a business. But one thing that I have been made acutely aware of is that the best talent in London, the best talent in London wants the best office space in London near to the action, and they are not willing to compromise on that one. The best developers, growth hackers, and strategists want to be where they feel they can make the most money. This implies to me that a large proportion of the best talent out there wants to be in a more central London location. Don't get me wrong, there are many people that will work more remotely, but half the fun of startups and young businesses is that daily hustle that takes place over meetings and meet and greet coffees. So before you make the decision to take a virtual office and a more remote actual office location, figure out what your hiring needs are and ask around to get a feel for their reaction to working remotely. If you need knowledge workers, I would suggest looking at a more central location for your actual office space. The last thing you want to do is put yourself in position where you struggle to recruit the best talents. How can I work in London but keep my costs down? Now this is the proper query to invite, having read the book The 4 Hour Fainting Weeks through Tim Ferriss, where he advocates using digital assistant. I know trust that agencies can get nice of both worlds. Digital assistants are exquisite. They may be people around the world that pick out to be internet employees, assisting groups with administrative layout and daily obligation remotely. I've been working with one such virtual assistant for approximately 4 years now. She has included me via the organization, and I agree with her implicitly. She lives a great existence within the sun in Manila, within the Philippines, which I'm a little jealous. What I love approximately working with digital assistant is that you could pay them a decreased like salary than you would possibly point a person domestically. However, pay them some distance more than they could earn in their town. It's a win-win if I've ever visible one. How can I use virtual assistants in my business? So if you have decided which you want to be in the hustle and bustle, close the action to the action in coronary heart of London or any other town that be counted. Then you could leverage a combination of in situ team and digital assistants running around the sector, and keep in mind that you don't need to be renting a private office anymore or signing a, a protracted term rent, even though those have their own advantage. As a substitute, you can discover some beautiful and absolutely inspiring shared or cooperating workplace spaces nowadays. So this will be my recommendation for those needing extra relevant area, but hindered hindered with the aid of cash flow. Hire the table area that you want, that wants essential team gamers which can be acting more technical paintings and require constant crew and task collaboration all to be in-house. This allows you build a culture and a team ethos that must make innovation and creativity flow to greater readily for those applications that you could describe and are less technical, perhaps a bit more repetitive. Recruit a few exceptional virtual assistant. The usage of platforms such as Upwork carry them into your business using all of the brilliant far-flung team collaboration platforms, Skype, Google Hangouts, and Slack, and many others. To paint things with them, you continue to want to cause them to sense a part of your gang, encourage and lead them. However, I understand that this could be executed as I've done it. Martin Sherfington has written a great series, one around leveraging Google merchandise to construct your digital crew and subculture that helps you get to grips with the nitty gritty of putting all of it up. Additionally, leveraging these kinds of wonderful collaboration gear also enables your enterprise to function remotely. Must it want to? For of painting to your in situ group is important for retaining human beings satisfied in their workplace. And if and when they pick to paintings from the beach or domestic for some days, there's no disruption on your enterprise functioning in any respect. Getting a virtual office address in London, click right here. There are such a lot of mixture that would be just right for you, and each commercial enterprise is precise. Here are your alternatives in brief. One, find an extra faraway workplace space and use this as your enterprise deal with. These cool paintings for agencies that are logistically and operationally heavy and require warehousing and get entry to transport hyperlinks. Second, discover a greater four-way office space and use a virtual office. This is all likelihood to suit service experts who need to live inside the countryside or near the sea but can effortlessly shuttle for relevant meetings. Third, list the table space in London that you want and work with faraway virtual assistants from around the world to convey your staffing costs done, but nevertheless get your admin done. That is probably the answer for younger groups and startups. Rent for where the private office deploy a slide and trampoline, employ a full in-house group and feature complete team collaboration that is actually best option for a hit startups and well installed companies with strong cash flow for investment.